Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we go back way back to the year 2003 and focus on a series known as D.N.Angel. Now, D.N.Angel is actually a very interesting romance kind of drama-filled show that I see was clearly aimed for girls more than anything else. But when I saw this, I was very young. I was 13 years old. And honestly, I really did like the show. I thought it was very interesting because of the characters and the kind of there is some comedy, there's some romantic plots. I was already getting into romance anime at that time. So honestly, I wanted to review this for a while now, just because I know it's an older series. It's probably no one is gonna be looking up for this. But you know what? I know my loyal followers on YouTube, my subscribers will watch it, and you know what? Pass along this thing, because I love passing along old anime. Like I said before, my channel's aimed not at just getting popular, but more so getting to the point that you see older stuff that you don't know existed, because a lot of times I know a lot of people go, well, I never even heard of that, what is this? And they look up and you see curiosity on them, and they actually go watch the stuff and go, wow, that was actually really good for an older show, all this. That's my aim, because I think a lot of times in the anime community, everyone's so focused on the stuff that came out today or came out 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. I want to go back to the times of 1990s, where anime existed even before that, of course. But I want to go to the stuff that I've seen in my life, and I want to, tell you guys and girls about it. So that's why I'm doing D.N.Angel. So D.N.Angel is actually pretty interesting. We have our main character Daisuke, who is your typical teenage boy who's actually really in love with this girl named Risa. And when he gets to a certain age, after I think it was 14 years old, he goes and confesses to her, like, oh, I really like you. Let's go out or something like that. She rejects him. Now, this actually really kind of depresses him, and at the same time, something happens where his life is dramatically changed when all of a sudden another side of him comes out. He alters into this other being known as Dark, who apparently is a family kind of transition where at a certain age, all males end up turning into Dark at one point when their romantic feelings or when they get a certain type of kind of romance in their body system goes off. It makes them into this alter ego who's actually just conveniently also a thief and a crazy guy who in general is like this, he's cool, he's got a good attitude about him, but he's a thief. Now, Daisuke has to kind of run around trying to deal with both him, have to deal with his alter ego, have to deal with, the fact that his now, crush is now in love with his alter ego, not him. It's very interesting, and it's a very nice romance story that I actually really enjoyed fully. Now, I remember, even though I saw this in 2013, I was 13 years old, even though it's almost 13 years ago now. I really enjoyed this enough that I always remembered it, and I always still kind of wanted to watch it again just for the hell of it. Now, I don't know about the voice acting. I'm sorry about that. I know that's kind of a no-no for me already, general, when I can't remember the voice acting. But I don't remember having issues with it. And you know what? Honestly, let's look up really fast. You can come with me on this trip. Well, you can't see it, but I'm actually going on Wikipedia right now at the time just to look up who the voice actors were, and I'll tell you if they're actually popular voice actors. Now, a lot of these voice actors are pretty... Oh, look, right there. Dark is actually voiced by Vic Mignogna. Daisuke is voiced by Kevin Corna, who don't remember exactly, but you have Greg Ayres in this. You have a lot of really popular voice actors. Lucy Christian, who I really am a huge fan of. So you do have a lot of good voice actors, so I'm presuming the English dub for this was very good. I don't personally remember having any issues with English dub, but that's just me now thinking I'm going off of seeing that there was some really popular voice talent in this, so... I'm just going to say I think it's fine, the English dub. I'm presuming the Japanese dub is also just as fine, but like I said, I don't know off the top of my head. But I remember the voices, I remember not the voice, I remember the sound, I remember the animation for this. And the animation is actually for the older show is not that bad, it's not great, it's not living up to it. I looked up a kind of, just a bunch of images and screenshots of this. It is showing its age, again, it's a 13-year-old show, but it's still an awesome show. It still has a lot of heart to it. And honestly, by the way, I don't know if you guys could hear that. That was my air conditioner that went off just randomly out of nowhere. But honestly, it was one of those shows that I really enjoyed, because not just for its animation, but for the concept of it. Because I thought back then it was kind of cool that, this character had his alter ego who was like so much cooler than him. And I was always wondering, how would that be? How would that be for me, who I used to always struggle with girls too myself? Having an alter ego of some pop up and, be suave and smooth about, how he picks up ladies and stuff like that. That's more so my own personal stuff, but I always thought about that too myself. And that, was kind of cool back then. So D.N.Angel, might be aimed for girls, but there is some kind of cool concepts that, if you're a guy, you can resonate with some of the stuff. Like Daisuke is very typical, and he has nothing really hugely crazy good about him, but he's a good person despite him having a better alter ego who's very cool and suave, unlike him. But honestly, again, this was aimed for girls, so there's a lot more fan service, I think, in terms of, there is the two guys who don't look, they look really cool looking. They have, strong setups to them. I think that, girls were more aimed for this, but I remember when I watched this, so I watched this on Anime on Demand, which was way back when, and I remember it was just because I saw it randomly. That's the only reason I even watched it. But, that's one of the things about it, is that I think, again, if you are a guy, you could enjoy this. I don't think you'll have an issue doing this. And overall, because the animation, again, is kind of suffering, I'm not going to review it saying that the animation is bad, and I'm not going to give it a lower score because of that, because that's not fair. This is a show that's older. Is it standing up to the test of time? Yeah, it's going to take some points off of that, because, I think anime should always kind of strive to stand up to the test of time. There's older shows that still look amazing even today. If I had to review this A through F, I have to give it a solid B-. This show is very well done. It's got a very good ending, which I really particularly liked. I love the characters. I remember them strongly, even though this is a 13-year-old show. When I watched this when I was a young teenager, I enjoyed a lot of it. I really enjoyed the kind of concepts, the plot. There's some really cool action sequences later on involving Dark, because, again, he is a thief. He's what they call a phantom thief, because he runs around, at the dead of night, going around stealing stuff. But there was some really good stuff with that, and I really remember it strongly. Overall, though, like I said, definitely worth checking out if you want an older show to check out. As always, guys, please, do the whole nines. You could subscribe to me, you could hit the like button, whatever, I don't care. And as always, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.